So, in the last class, we have discussed about the methane explosion, mine explosions. We have discussed all these things. What is an explosion? What is mine explosion? What are the uh, explosion mechanism? All these things we have discussed. What are the factors essential to cause fire damp explosion? What is a inflammable mixture? Limits of flammability we have discussed, and the uh, flammability limit of fire damp in the air mixture we have discussed, and what is Lee Catelier relationship we have also discussed. The flammable limits of combustible gases, different type of gases we have discussed. What is Coward's diagram also we have discussed. Coward's diagram, what is the significance of Coward's diagram? What are the factors affecting the inflammable limits? What is ignition temperature? We have discussed all these things in the last class, and we have also seen what is lag on ignition, what is lag on ignition, what is direct blast. Different type of blasts are there. One is direct blast, the back blast we have discussed, and explosion flames, effect of high pressure and temperature on the explosion, effect of black damp, and explosion characteristics also we have discussed, like explosion flame temperature, explosion pressure, flame length, velocity of propagation of flame. All these things we have discussed. Flame explosion, pressure, flame length, velocity of propagation of flame or flame velocity, condition of gas mixture, whether at rest or in motion. This also we have discussed. Point of ignition, length of gas zone we have discussed, presence of obstacles in the path, and today we are going to discuss, today our topic of discussion is causes of fire damp explosion in mines. What are the different causes? Why fire damp explosion takes place in the mines? So you know that the various causes of fire damp in coal mines are because of negligence of the miners, use of damaged safety lamps and their improper handling, and due to blasting, wrong way of blasting, because of mine fire, coal mine fire, because of friction, because of electric sparks, and because of other special causes, you get fire damp explosion in your mines. So uh, first, let us see what is negligence of miners. Miners means the people who work inside the mine. The coal miners, the miners who go every day to the mine and work in the mine, they are called the miners. So, if they neglect, if it is because of the negligence of the miners, if they smoke inside the underground mine, if they make fire inside the mine, if opening of flame safety lamp inadvertently inside the mine, if they, while they take the flame safety lamp to the underground mines, if they open it, so there will be fire, resulting in ignition of fire damp, causes fire damp explosion. So these are the negligence of the miners. Second is, if they use the damaged safety lamps. You know that the safety lamp is uh, taken to the underground mines by the miners to measure the presence of methane gas in the mine atmosphere. So if they are using a damaged safety lamp, if the safety lamp is not in good order, it is a damaged safety lamp, and if they don't know how to handle properly the safety lamp, so that also may cause the fire damp explosion inside your mines. So what is damaged safety lamp? A safety lamp is safe only when its various parts are clean. So it should be a cleaned safety lamp. the safety lamp should not be dirty. It should, various parts of the safety lamp should be clean. It should be in good condition. It should not be damaged condition. All parts are properly assembled. So there are various parts of a safety lamp. So all the parts are properly assembled, and the person who is handling, the person who is using the safety lamp, he should be properly trained how to handle the safety lamp. Third is your blasting. So inside the underground mines, you go for blasting, and how you are going to blast. So during the process of blasting, there may be some sparks are there. If you have not taken proper precaution while using the explosives, so there may be some sparks. That is why in underground coal mines, if you are working in the underground coal mines, gassy coal mines, only permitted explosives are used in underground coal mines. These permitted explosives are used after taking approval from Director General Mine Safety. So that is why blasting is a great hazard in underground coal mines, because during the process of blasting, you may be igniting the coal dust, or you may ignite the methane gas inside the coal mine. So that is why during blasting you should be very careful, and you should know what type of explosives you are going to use in the underground coal mines. So what is the problem associated with blasting in underground coal mines? Blasting in coal in road head rippings represented a dangerous source of ignition of fire damp in the past. So the problem is, while doing blasting in the underground coal mines, so there may be some fire damp explosion because of the ignition. Blasting will become a source of ignition because of the sparks. So what are the effects of blasting? So the flame produced by the explosive, sometimes the explosives, they they themselves explode. You are using the explosives to explode and break the rock mass. To break the coal, you are using the blasting explosives. So, but during the process of blasting, they produce some flame. The explosives, they produce flame, and that lasts very short time. So no chance of burning. The at the time of blasting, the explosives, they produce a flame which lasts very short time. The, if the flame will remain for longer time, then it may ignite the fire damp. So that is why this is the reason for fire damp explosion in the underground mines. If during the process of blasting, if the flame produced by the explosives remains in the atmosphere for a very long time period, then there is chance of fire damp explosion inside the mine. Then second, the hot gases emitted. So during the process of blasting, the explosion, the explosives are exploded, and you get hot gases, and cool down rapid. These hot gases, sometimes they cool down rapidly. uh, so no chance of burning fire damp air mixture. If these hot gases, they cool down very rapidly, so there is no chance of burning fire damp in the mixture. But if these hot gases remain quite long period in the mine atmosphere, so they may also ignite the fire damp. Third is hot heat of compression. So you know that while the blasting is done, a lot of gases are released and the air is compressed. Heat energy is compressed. Heat of compression. Sudden compression of a gas by 20-fold increases the temperature of the gas, and which can ignite the gas. Okay. So during the process of blasting, you will get sudden compression of hot gases. So during the process of compressing the hot gases, So there is chance that there may be increase in temperature of the gas, and this increase in temperature of the gas can ignite the gas. So that is why you should be very careful while doing blasting inside the underground coal mines. There should not be any flame which should not last for very long time. There should not be hot gases. If there is hot gases are produced, they should be cooled down very rapidly. And if heat of compression is there, then there is chance of temperature rise, and which may ignite the fire damp or methane gas. That is why these are the three reasons during blasting which may create problem of explosion of fire damp inside the underground coal mines. So with the development of new and safer explosives, that is why you have to use the safe explosive which will not create all these problems, and you have to use improved blasting techniques. You have to use improved blasting techniques so that the number of explosions due to this cause can be decreased considerably. Okay, this is about your blasting in the underground coal mines, which may cause fire damp explosion. Then you know that coal mine fire, underground coal mines, they are susceptible to fire depending upon the incubation period of the coal. Uh, there may be auto oxidation of the coal, and there may be fire, coal mine fire. So whenever there is coal mine fire, it can easily bring about ignition of the flammable fire damp. The methane gas and air mixture can be ignited from the mine fires. So that is why you should take sufficient measures so that there is no coal mine fire inside your mine. And we have seen that the frictional forces, friction also sometimes uh, produce heat and temperature and flames. So that is why frictional heating and frictional spark can ignite also the flammable fire damp air mixtures. So that is why there should not be any friction between different parts. So the frictional ignition hazard depends on four factors like nature of contacting materials, which material is contacted with which material, composition of the flammable gas mixture. If in your mind there is methane air mixture, what is the composition of the flammable gas mixture, and what is the rate of energy release, and type of frictional contact of the material. What type of materials are contacted for friction? So let us see what are the different type of materials which can create flame because of the friction. So the frictional ignition may take place due to these three parts because of the friction between these materials. Friction between metal and metal. If two metals are coming in contact with each other and there is friction between two metals, then there may be ignition, there may be flame, and that flame may ignite your methane gas. Similarly, if there is friction between metal and rock, for example drill machine, the drill machine is coming in contact with the rock for the uh, for the purpose of drilling the holes. So during the process of drilling, okay, so if the drill bits, if the drill bit is blunt, if it is not sharp, so there may be uh, some sparks because of the interaction of the drill bit and the rock. There may be some spark, so that may cause the fire damp explosion to take place in your mines. Similarly, third one is rock to rock friction, friction between rock and rock. Suppose one rock is getting friction with another rock, so they may also get ignited, or they may get some sparks. They may release some sparks, and that spark can be the source of ignition of the methane gas. So this is the frictional ignition. three types of frictional ignitions take place. Let us see how they take place. Metal to metal friction. So metal to metal friction. Degree of ignition hazard from metal to metal contact depends on the properties of the more readily oxidizable metal. There are different type of metals are there. Some metals are readily oxidizable metal. If you are there is friction between two metals, one metal is readily oxidizable, then there may be some source of spark that they may produce spark. Extensive research carried out in Germany and UK clearly show that ignition hazard from incendiary particles of iron is extremely less. So by doing research, it is found that the iron particles are not very uh, 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 they are shaped uh, unlike your other type of materials. So danger may be feared from aluminum and its alloys. If you are working with bauxite mining, aluminum mining, so these aluminum metals, they produce uh, problem. They are very problematic in terms of producing sparks, and it's alloys of aluminum also. But if it is a iron ore mine, if iron is not uh, uh, sorry metal, if there is friction between two iron particles, so there may not be any spark. But if there is friction between aluminum and aluminum or its alloys, there will be danger of spark. And this frictional energy, frictional spark, can ignite the methane gas inside your mine. Then, if there is metal to rock friction, as I have told, during the process of drilling or during the process of cutting the uh, coal by the machines, coal cutting machines, it poses the greatest ignition hazard in the coal mines. So the frictional sparking during cutting and drilling, coal cutting and drilling of the holes in seams, in coal seams containing hard siliceous bands. Sometimes the coal seams, they contain siliceous bands, silica bands, or inclusions of iron pyrite nodules attributed to several fire damp explosions in the mines. So metal to rock friction, uh, that means while drilling, while cutting the core, so the coal seams, sometimes they are associated with silica and iron pyrite, iron nodules, and that may cause the fire damp explosion in the mines because of the friction between the drill machine and the coal seam inside the mine, which may produce the sparks. So nature of rock, particularly quartz content and its grain size, are far more important than type of picks or bits used. Nature of rock, particularly quartz, if there is quartz content is there and its grain size particle uh, is more important than what type of picks you are using, what type of bits you are using. So the coal cutter pick, the coal cutting machine pick generate brilliant spark of 200 degrees centigrade to 300 degrees centigrade, which can ignite iron pyrite and iron pyrite dust and produce flame, which in turn burns lithium air mixture. So that's why you should be very careful about metal to rock friction inside the mine. Third is rock and rock friction between two rocks. If there is friction, so there they may also produce some spark, and that spark may be the cause of your methane explosion. So what is rock and rock friction? Some mine explosions in United Kingdom and Canada were attributed to friction between the rocks caused by fall or caving of sandstone roof rock. So you know that the coal seam is overlain by sandstone in its roof. So while doing coal mining, if you are doing for caving, so the during the process of caving, the sandstone will fall down and it may strike the uh, floor rock, uh, roof rock. While falling down, it may strike the uh, 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 floor rock, uh, and spark may be generated, and that spark will be good enough for igniting the methane gas, resulting in methane explosion. So experiments conducted in United Kingdom showed that the ignition of iodine mixture by the impact of rocks takes place by its contact with the hot patches on the contactic rock surfaces. There are some hot patches are there which are responsible for the uh, frictional uh, energy or frictional spark. Particularly silica or quartz bearing sandstones can produce ignitions. If the sandstone is associated with silica and quartz, silica or quartz, so there is more chance of ignition of the fire dam because of the friction between the rock particles. And inside the underground mines, you are using the electrical energy for lighting purpose, for the operation of electrical equipments inside the underground mines. So you may get electrical sparks. So electrification of coal mines has introduced into the mines an ever-present source of ignition by electric sparks of flammable fire damp air mixture. You know that the flammable fire damp air mixture, methane air mixture, when they get some igniting source, so there may be ignition and there may be explosion. So electrical equipments are the source of uh, electrical sparks, and that spark can ignite the fire damp air mixture. These electric sparks of sufficient energy and long duration can ignite the fire damp air mixture. Electrical sparks of sufficient energy and having long duration can ignite the fire damp air mixture. And these sparks, electrical sparks, how they produce? Sparks may be produced from switch gears. You are using different type of switch gears inside the underground mine, electrical switch gears, damaged cables. If you are using some damaged cables, there may be short circuit and cables may produce sparks. Signaling apparatus, you are using the signaling apparatus inside the mine for communication purpose, that may produce the sparks. Faulty electrical equipment, if the electrical equipment which you are using inside the mine, if it is faulty, then also it can produce the sparks. Short firing magneto exploders. So you are using the magneto exploders inside the underground mines for the purpose of blasting. So that may also produce some sparks. So uh, while there are sparks inside the underground mine, what is the minimum energy of a spark? How much energy is needed for the fire damp mixture to be ignited? The minimum energy of a spark causing ignition of flammable fire damp mixture varies with methane concentration. How much methane is there? How much methane is there inside the mine, in the mine atmosphere? What is the humidity condition of the mine? What is the oxygen content of the atmosphere? How much oxygen is present? Because from the Cowards diagram, we have seen which zone of the diagram is explosive in nature. What is the percentage of methane gas? What is the percentage of oxygen present in the mine atmosphere? These two combinations, they produce the explosive uh, uh, zone uh, uh, explosive limits in the mine atmosphere. Whether there is humidity in the mine atmosphere or not, what is the temperature of the mine atmosphere, what is the pressure of the mine atmosphere, whether the particles are in turbulence or they are fixed. So these are the characteristics. These are the uh, um, factors which are responsible for the explosion to take place, and accordingly, depending upon these factors, you need the minimum energy of a spark to ignite the fire damp mixture. So most flammable mixture for ignition by an electric spark occurs at 8.3% methane. If the methane percent is 8.3%, irrespective of the type of spark, so there may be chances of explosion. If the methane percentage is 8.3%, then uh, uh, irrespective of the type of spark, there may be chances of explosion, because you know that the lower limit of methane is 5%. But if the methane percent is 8.3%, means it is the, we have seen that 9.5% is the optimum level or high level of methane concentration which can produce the explosion inside the mines. So therefore the minimum igniting energy is as low as 0.28 millijoule. So if the methane concentration is 8.3%, so the minimum igniting energy you need to ignite to cause the explosion is only 0.28 millijoule energy is necessary to cause the methane explosion inside the mine. So there are some other special causes are there for which reason ignition takes place. So sparks of static or frictional electricity having adequate energy capable of igniting fire damp mixture. So what are the other special causes? Ordinary belt passing over pulleys. So you know that the belt conveyor system, the belt is running over the pulleys. Ordinary belt passing over pulleys can accumulate static charges, static electric charges sufficient to produce sparks. Dust-laden air passing through ducting can can electrify the ducting by friction. And when dust particles are blown through and projected from a compressed air pipe or nozzle, the dust cloud may become electrified, and under certain conditions, the electrostatic discharge they result may be capable of igniting the fire damp. These are the other special causes of fire damp explosion. Methane blowers, when catch fire, can become a cause of explosion also. Methane blowers. You are using the methane blowers to blow out the methane gas from the mines, but that also may be a source of methane explosion. Tungsten filament of an incandescent electric lamp, even a 2-volt lamp, is capable of igniting a fire damp air mixture if the enclosing bulb become accidentally broken. So these are the other sources. So now let us discuss about the prevention of fire damp explosion in the underground mines. Prevention. Prevention is better than cure. We know prevention is better than cure. That's why you have to take some preventive measures to avoid the fire damp explosion inside your mines. What are the prevention you have to take? No practical measures exist for arresting fire damp explosions in coal mines. However, you can take some protective measures against this hazard which can be adopted in your mines. The various protective measures which can be taken inside your mine against fire damp explosion hazard in mines can be divided into the following groups. 3 groups are there, by the help of which you can prevent the fire damp explosion. Measures against accumulation of dangerous fire damp mixtures in the mine workings. So you should not allow accumulation of dangerous fire damp explosion, dangerous fire damp methane gas mixture inside the mine workings. You should take sufficient measures against ignition. Source of ignition should not be there to ignite the fire damp mixture. And you should control the fire damp emission. From the coal seams, continuously the methane is emitted. So you should control the fire damp emission. So these are the three things you can take in your mind. These are the three measures you can take in your mind to reduce the chances of explosion. One is uh, you should not allow accumulation of dangerous fire damp mixtures inside your mine. You should not uh, allow ignition of the fire damp mixture, and you should control the fire damp emission from the coal seam. So first is, what are the measures you should take against the accumulation of dangerous fire damp mixtures in mine working from the beginning? We have seen that ventilation, by providing proper ventilation, you have to maintain proper ventilation standard. We have discussed earlier also how to maintain proper ventilation standard. The purpose is to dilute the fire damp below its flammable limit. It should be the presence of fire damp in the mine atmosphere should not reach 5%. That is the lower limit of methane concentration, 5%. It should be 1%, 2%, that is okay. But it should never go to 5%, because 5% is the lower limit of explosibility of methane concentration in the mine atmosphere. And this can be done by the help of ventilation. Ventilation means all the foul gases, including methane gas, should be removed from the mine by exhaust ventilation system. Then what other thing you have to do? Frequent sampling of mine air. You should collect the mine air sample and test the presence of methane in the mine atmosphere. Frequent sampling of mine air. Important points to be noted while doing adequate ventilation, standard ventilation. Mine should be mechanically ventilated. There should be a mechanical ventilator, a fan. When methane emission is more than 5 cubic meter per ton of daily output, if you are producing 1 ton of coal in a day, or 100 ton of coal in a day, so per ton of coal, there should not, uh, if the emission of methane is more than 5 cubic meter per ton, then a standby main fan ventilating system should be there. Independent drive and power circuit should be there, so that if one ventilator, one fan is out of order or stopped, the other fan can immediately be made on, so that the ventilation can be carried out. Main fan to be so placed, it will not be damaged by explosion. So if you are having only one fan, it should be located it should be located at such a point that even if there is explosion, the main fan is not going to be damaged. Automatic alarms, fire alarms, explosion alarms or signal device to alert persons on duty should it stop or slow down. Then mine equivalent orifice should be as large as possible, more than 2 meters square. The size of the orifice should be more than 2 meters square. The entire mine should be ventilated by the exhaust ventilation system. There are two ventilation systems are there. One is the exhaust ventilation system, the other one is forcing based ventilation system. So you should use the exhaust ventilation system. Ventilation of development headings should be done by utilizing mine ventilating pressure as far as practicable. Then you should use the auxiliary fan should be installed and located in such a manner that air is delivered within 5 meters of the face, and recirculation of air is eliminated. There should not be any recirculation of air inside the mine. Foul air should be taken out from the mine. It should not again be allowed to go to the intake air. In all ideal days, if on Sundays, holidays, these are the ideal days, the mine should be ventilated by primary ventilation system to prevent accumulation of fire damp. Okay, so if on the working days uh, and if non-working days like Sundays, holidays, uh, you should ventilate the area by primary ventilation system so that there is no accumulation of fire damp inside your mine. So ventilation doors should be correctly located and they should be kept closed except when main equipment trains are passing through them. So whatever ventilation doors you are using inside the mine, they should remain closed. The mine ventilation system to be planned so that simple, effective, reliable ventilation of all workings is assured. The method of working or extraction should be selected so that it guarantees an easy and safe ventilation of the faces with adequate velocities in the face and in the waste ways. So proper method of working and extraction of coal should be carried out so that you can guarantee safe ventilation system in the working phases with adequate velocity. And the coal seams to be deployed from the top to downwards, top downward to decrease methane content in the lower seams. If you are using multi-seam mining, there are number of seams are there, then you have to work from the top seam towards the downwards seam so that there is no uh, uh, methane content in the lower seams. You can decrease the methane content in the lower seams. Air leakage should be kept to the mean. There should not be any leakage of air. Ventilating doors and other places should be sealed so that no leakage of air. High standard of ventilation should be maintained in districts liable to outburst. There are chances of coal bombs. There is chances of gas outburst. Okay, there may be rock bursts, uh, but not in coal mines. If it is in coal mines, it is called coal bombs. Or if gas emission is there, so there may be some gas outbursts are there. So that is why high standard of ventilation should be maintained in the districts where there is chances of outburst of gas is there. The bleeder system of ventilation to be adopted to drain out the gases behind the stoppings, behind your ventilation stoppings. Roof cavities to be filled up with approved sealant or ventilated to avoid accumulation of fire damp. So these are the steps you have to take to reduce the percentage of methane gas in the mine atmosphere. Air currents and methane emission should be controlled by a systematic measurement of air quantities and their methane concentration. And you should go for special examinations for fire damp layering should be made during periods of falling barometric pressure in roadways adjacent to the old workings. And there is a check methane emission in ascensionally ventilated phase layering index to be judged by Middendorf formula given by a scientist. This formula we have discussed in the earlier class. S index, your methane gas layering index, is cube root of 23 v square divided by c root over f, where v is the mean air velocity in meter per second, c is the mean methane content percentage, methane percentage, and f is the cross-sectional area of the airway at the measuring station in meter square. And if your S index is less than 2, there is probable danger of methane layering. If S index is greater than 2, no danger of methane layering. So this formula can be used. And second measure you can take to reduce the accumulation of methane gas inside your mine atmosphere is all persons should be prohibited from carrying smoking articles. We have discussed that no minors The people who are working inside mine, they should not be allowed to take in matchbox. These are the measures against the ignition of flammable firearm mixtures. So, if there is methane gas inside your mine, you should avoid this igniting source. So that's why all persons should be prohibited from carrying smoking articles, matchboxes, other spark or flame making devices. And all coal mines should be treated as safety lamp mines, as a number of explosions in the past had occurred in the so-called naked light mines. So, uh, no naked light, no naked light should be used inside the mine, even if the coal mine is not a gassy mine. Even that also, you should not use any naked light line inside the mine. Only approved type of flame and electric safety lamps should be used inside the coal mines. Approved by Director General Mine Safety, what type of your electric safety lamp should be used, that is to be used inside the mine, so that there is no chance of ignition source inside your mine. And these are the precautions you should take when using flame safety lamp. The lamp should be carried in vertical position only. You should keep it vertically upward. The glass should be protected from splashes of water. No water should fall on the glass surface. The lamp should not be set down on the floor but should be hung from a substantial support. And the lamp should not be left unattended in the mine. It should not be left unattended. One person should be vigilant to attend the safety lamp. It should not go unattended. And the lamp should not be exposed to strong air currents to prevent the flame from going out. No combustible material should be ignited by the lamp. When the flame of a safety lamp indicates a dangerous percentage of gas in the atmosphere, the lamp should be withdrawn slowly, very carefully, and very promptly to prevent the flame from going out of the lamp. If the flame is extinguished suddenly, if the safety lamp flame is extinguished suddenly, the lamp should be withdrawn carefully and promptly, and it should be taken into the fresh air base and allowed to cool before lighting it again. Only the certified flameproof and intrinsically safe apparatus should be used in the coal mines. We have seen that if you are using any electrical equipment inside the mine, if gearboxes or gate and box, anything you are using, it should be intrinsically safe. There should not be any flame coming out from the electrical sparks. The apparatus should be properly installed, protected, operated and maintained so that there is no spark. So to prevent ignition from electricity in a district, if electrically operated equipment is not in immediate use and men are not working there, power should be cut off in that district. The electrical current should be cut off. Power lines should be cut off if you are not using any electrical equipment or no people is working inside the mine in a district. Trailing cables vulnerable to damage should be suspended from hangers and suitably protected against damage. The cables which we are using inside the mine should be protected. They should be protected. They should not get damaged. And if they damage, they will generate sparks. To prevent ignition from electrostatic charges like your belt conveyor, all ventilation ductings should be earthed. Only anti-static polythene sheeting, hoses and belts used to prevent accumulation of electrostatic charges. Okay. And in endangered mine workings, a reliable methane monitor with cutout that will be automatically cut off power supply to the electrical apparatus when the methane concentration reaches the prescribed maximum value may be installed. And if the main ventilating fan is stopped for any reason, electrical power should be cut off in the return airways. And in the case of auxiliary ventilator, not to be operated when main mine fan is stopped. Auxiliary ventilator not to be operated when main mine fan is stopped. If you have stopped the main mine fan, then auxiliary ventilation fan should not be kept in running condition. In a place ventilated with an auxiliary fan, if the auxiliary fan is stopped or fails, electrical equipment operating in the place should be also stopped and the power disconnected at the source until the ventilation is restored. And the auxiliary fan should be so maintained that the impeller does not strike the casing. So these are the precautions you have to take to reduce the spark. And excessive frictional heat produced from conveyors, brakes, bearings should be avoided by good ventilation system and proper maintenance of ventilation system. Frictional sparks produced by metal to rock contact, as with face cutting machines, drilling machines, continuous mining machines, and Lungwall power loading equipment should be avoided. The cutting beads of mining machines, like your coal cutting machine, when they are worn out or broken, are especially hazardous if they scrape against instead of cutting into the material. That's why you should use the sharp tools. You have to take some precautionary measures against frictional sparking during cutting of seams by jeep cut coal cutting machines. So selecting appropriate cutting horizon and lower peak speeds. Weight cutting, you should spray water while cutting the coal. Weight cutting using external water sprays directed at the ingoing and outgoing peaks, providing a water mist in the cut, introducing inert gas, carbon dioxide, nitrogen into the cut, or ventilating the cut. So adequate ventilation of cut using compressed air can be also practiced. So these are the precautionary measures you have to take against frictional sparking. And frictional ignition by reefer type continuous miners can be considerably reduced by using carefully engineered backsprays on the reefer drum applied directly at the coal cutting bits. Materials constructed of light alloys to be avoided in underground coal mines to eliminate incentive sparking. Spontaneous heating of coal should be controlled by proper planning of mine development as well as coal extraction by adopting good ventilation system and inspection system. Blasting with explosives should be restricted to a minimum. Welding, flame cutting, grinding, soldering operations must be done in the underground only after checking the concentration of methane gas before such work and taking proper precautions. All mobile diesel powered equipments in the underground coal mines must be inspected and maintained in approved condition in accordance with the instructions furnished by the manufacturers. So, in the next class, we'll discuss about how to control the fire damp emission. How to control the fire damp emission. Control of fire damp emission will how to control the fire damp your methane emission, because in the underground coal mines the coal seams they contain methane gas, they emit methane gas. So how to control the fire damp emission inside your mine we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Acha. So you are regularly checking uh, your MS team. You
Yes,
should
sir.
check. You should check. Sometimes I give some quizzes. Sometimes I will send some notes, problems and solutions. So you should check it. Are you getting? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
should, you should check the messages, whatever I deliver in the class. Thank you. Thank you. And you should attend to the quizzes because this is a regular continuous evaluation process. So if you miss some tests, then your marks will be reduced. So you should be very attentive and you should attend all the tests, all the quizzes, all the class notes. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.